Let's do a self-exploration meditation on the background. Let's close our eyes, sit comfortably, and empty the mind. Just like you park your shoes outside the door when you enter, like that, park the thoughts outside. Empty the mind. Empty the room of your mind. Just like you would clean up the entire apartment if you would want to remodel it. Empty out all the furniture of the mind. There is no room here for thoughts, for feelings, for ideas, images, sensations, perceptions. Empty out the mind. Just be. Just be in that emptiness. This emptiness is who I am. This emptiness, this space is the background of infinity. In it arise thoughts, feelings, sensations, even the perception of my voice. Observe all these arisings arise like waves. They play for a while and they recede. They arise on the background, they play in that background, and they vanish back into the background. This background of emptiness is my true nature. This background of silence is my true nature. This background of peace is my true nature. In between two thoughts, I am in my own nature. In between two feelings, in that gap, I am in my own nature. In between two perceptions of anything, even the sound of these words, I am in my own nature. In the gap between two sensations, I am in my own nature. My nature is like an infinite field of silence. There is no personal I to be found anywhere. There is no separate self. There can only be one infinity. My experience of this infinity and your experience of this infinity cannot be two separate infinities. It would be absurd if there were multiple infinities. That does not exist. There is only one single infinity. Therefore, our nature is this infinite field of silence, this infinite field of knowingness. Our nature is this universal awareness. There is nothing personal about it. If we use the word I for the purpose of communication, we are actually referring to this infinite background. The correct usage would actually be that instead of the word I. That's why scriptures say, Thou art that. You are that. Tat Tvam Asi. This background, this universal nature of us, has two qualities. The quality to be and the quality to know. Being and knowing. When there is something to know, the knowingness is in operation. When there is no object to be known, there is just being. On this universal background of awareness, thoughts, feelings, sensations, perceptions are floating. They arise and fall like waves. The universal background knows the thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions. This is its function of knowing. When the thoughts, feelings, sensations, or perceptions vanish, the universal background just is. It is addressed as the isness, the presence, the existence, the universe. In Sanskrit, it is termed as Sat. The thoughts, feelings, sensations, perceptions arise and fall on this background. The background knows them. It is just a witness to them. It does not indulge. That is why the background is called knowingness, the witness. In Sanskrit, chid, consciousness. Waves arise in the ocean and fall back into the ocean. Waves are made of the same water as the ocean. Similarly, thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions arise like waves and recede back into the background. They are made up of the same stuff as the background. When we say I am, we are actually addressing the state of being. We are addressing Sat, the existence. When we say I know, we are addressing the function of knowingness or consciousness. We are addressing the Sanskrit word chid. Chid and Sat are both qualities of the same indivisible, universal background. So it is this background that everything is made up of. It is this background that knows everything that arises in it. And it is this background into which everything recedes. All that arises and falls is temporary, is impermanent. The background is the only permanence there is. This background is the universal self. This background is aware that thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions are its own extensions, just like the waves are the extension of the ocean. They are not separate from the ocean. When thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions arise and play, that is called the waking state. When they recede in the gap before the next one arises, that itself is the deep sleep state. State where these are absent. When the background is knowing the existence of the thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions it is in its witnessing mode, and that is the waking state. When the thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions recede and vanish into the background is in its function of only being, Sat, the state of existing, the state of isness. That is the deep sleep state. This state has been described in the scriptures as shining in its own light. It simply is. Here in this state, there is no mind. Mind cannot go there because mind can only know objects. The mind cannot know the gap that occurs after the end of the thought and before the beginning of the next. It cannot go there. That state has also been called the state of no mind. Simply the state of Sat, of being, where awareness is resting as awareness, where the background is simply resting as the universal quiet silence. So it is the background that itself arises, abides, and vanishes. It is this background that extends itself in the form of thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions. It is the background that is the only thing there is. There is nothing outside of this background. There is nothing outside this consciousness. There is nothing outside this primordial awareness. Brahman Satyam, Jagat Mithya. Only consciousness is the truth. The world is an illusion.
Sa